What up, boxing fans? Gilberto Torres Jr. with Torres Boxing. I hope you're having a great day, guys. It's Sunday. It's been a good day so far. Got some things I have to do, but I wanted to take some time and give my thoughts on the Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev fight from last night. Now, coming into this fight real quick, I thought it was going to be interesting, although it wasn't the fight I really wanted at first. The fight I wanted was the trilogy between Canelo and Triple G. We didn't get that, so this is the fight that we did get from Canelo. And coming into the fight, I knew that Kovalev was not the same fighter he was, 3 years ago. This is a Kovalev that has been through some wars. He's been through some tough losses. And has clearly lost a step. It's evident when you see him fight. But one thing that I did like about him, and this was something that I saw in his rematch with later Alvarez when he reclaimed the WBO title, was that he showed, something different to me. He showed me that he was aware of his age, of his declining physical abilities, but Kovalev has so much experience that he was able to kind of blend whatever was left of his physical abilities with his experience and his still solid power, because usually power, as we all know, is usually the last thing that leaves a fighter. And so Kovalev coming into this Canelo fight was still banking on his power, was still banking on his experience, and a good amount of physical abilities that he still possessed. He had a tough time, of course, with Anthony Yarde, a fighter that was more, in his natural weight class, but that was much younger and less experienced. He had a tough time, but he was able to weather the storm and demonstrated that his experience and remaining abilities were able to get him over that hurdle to defeat Anthony Yarde. So coming into this fight, I did think that it was a calculated risk by Canelo and team. Clearly, he's not gonna go for a better Bief or a Vostik or a Bivol, and Kovalev is a big name. Amongst all those champions, Kovalev has the biggest star power in the division, even if he's past his prime. I guess you can look at it from both sides. You see a fighter that has a big name, and then you also see a fighter that's not as strong as he once was. But still, even with all that coming into the equation, Kovalev was still going to be the natural light heavyweight. Canelo did not have a catch weight. He himself was going to be coming up to 15 pounds, essentially. He had that one victory at 168 against an inferior opponent in Rocky Fielding. But now he was coming up an additional 7 pounds, so it was interesting to see how his body was going to react. Was his speed still going to be there? Was his explosiveness still going to be there? We know that Canelo in the past has had problems with his endurance. So how would this new added weight affect him in the fight? So that's the thing I was looking forward to, and seeing how Canelo was going to react in this fight. Kovalev, again, I mentioned the things that he had going for him: the power, the natural weight, the advantages that he had at light heavyweight, being a light heavyweight for so long, having power, having experience, all these things, and these things were in his favor. The fight started, and things were fairly going either way. It was a competitive affair. Canelo had a tough time kind of getting into the inside. He wasn't able to really get inside and start landing at will against Kovalev. Kovalev, on his part, was constantly throwing something, either throwing a jab or a 1-2, but he was throwing something which didn't allow. Obviously, he's the bigger fighter, more rangier fighter, and he was able to keep Canelo at bay. He would never let Canelo inside, only on rare occasions when Canelo sometimes was able to kind of get in to let his hands go. But for the most part, Kovalev did a good job at keeping him at distance. The fight's going on, and Canelo still seems to be having problems with catching Kovalev. Kovalev, in my opinion, this is the fight that I saw, and I'll watch it again if I have to, but the fight that I saw, I did see Kovalev getting stronger as the fight wore on. After the 6th, 7th, 8th round, I felt like Kovalev was starting to get a little bit more confident, was getting ready to put a little bit more work in, and I felt like he was feeling good. I feel like, yes, Canelo, you know, still had respectable power at 175 pounds, but it looked, before the end, it looked like Kovalev wasn't really feeling the punches that much, to the point where he was gonna just, you know, lay down and let Canelo have his way with him. You know, he was still in the fight. Of course, he showed respect for Canelo's power. You still do have to show that level of respect. It's boxing, but it wasn't to the point where, oh, Canelo's this gonna be this knockout artist in this fight, and Kovalev had that on the back of his mind. You know, he looked pretty comfortable in there, and again, looked like he was getting better as the fight wore on. You know, Canelo had trouble getting inside throughout the fight. I remember Buddy McGirt, Kovalev's trainer, saying in one of the interviews backstage before the fight how he thought it was like the tortoise and the herring, right? A rabbit and a turtle, how this fight was gonna go. That the rabbit, you know, Canelo, was gonna start off strong, was gonna come in for the kill, while the tortoise, you know, the turtle, being Kovalev, was going to start off slow. You weren't going to see a lot of explosiveness from him in the beginning, but eventually the turtle, you know, Kovalev was gonna manage to be able to finish strong and close out the show. And so that's exactly what I was seeing. My eyes were seeing this fight unfold. I was seeing Kovalev getting stronger as the fight wore on. Canelo having more trouble getting in the inside and not being able to really have his way with Kovalev. So Canelo was busy. Kovalev was always throwing something to kind of keep him at bay. But I felt like things were starting to sway towards Kovalev's favor. But the end happened in the 11th round when Canelo caught him. Kovalev had his hands up, so the punch didn't really connect flush, but it was enough to kind of send him reeling. A big left hand by Canelo that had Kovalev on wobbly legs. Kovalev backed up a little bit and near the ropes, and that's when Canelo finished it off with a quick right hand that sent Kovalev crashing to the canvas, and the referee did not bother to count at all. You know, it was clear that Kovalev was not going to get up, and so the ref just waved off the fight. He called it off, and so Canelo now becomes a 4-division world champion. I know that there's going to be debate about that, but you know, he has captured at least a version of a title in 4 separate weight divisions. He's improves his record now to 53 victories, 36 knockouts now, 1 defeat, of course, to Mayweather several years back, and 2 draws. And so Canelo now is a world champion at light heavyweight, as crazy as that sounds. Kovalev, his record drops to 34 victories, 4 losses, 1 draw, and so now Kovalev clearly could be on his way out. This was a tough loss. He's already been through several tough losses and recently in his career. But one thing I do want to mention about this fight was the referee's constant interference in the fight. That's one thing I didn't like, to be honest with you. I saw the referee constantly reprimanding Kovalev for pushing Canelo off with his shoulder. Now, I did not see a Kovalev fighting dirty. He was not fighting dirty. He wasn't doing anything that was you know, that people could cry foul and say, oh, look, Kovalev's a dirty fighter. You know, why is the ref letting him do these things? You know, there was nothing like that. For me personally, the way I saw that little shoulder bump that he would do with Canelo, which wasn't anything crazy out of the ordinary, you know, it was a simple little bit of a shove that kind of got Canelo off of him. I just took it as a veteran, you know, tactic. You know, this man's been a pro fighter for 10 years. and I just took it as something that, oh look, Kovalev is smart. He's a smart fighter. He grabs when he needs to grab. He pushes off when he needs to push off, and he's just a savvy veteran of the sport, and that's how I took it. But the referee clearly did not take it that way, and he would constantly call Kovalev out for those tactics, to the point where I feel like when he gave him that last warning, Kovalev's rhythm was kind of knocked off a little bit, because now Kovalev in his mind had the fear of having a point deduction. And so when he has that looming over his head about possibly losing a point, and this is such a high stakes fight, where every point really does matter, then clearly, you know, he's gonna have to change things up at least a little bit. And so I did not like that from the referee at all, guys, and you guys can let me know, am I wrong, am I right? Let me know in the comment section. But that's just one thing I really kind of wanted to get off my chest, because I did not appreciate that from the referee, just kind of interfering when it was really uncalled for. There was really no reason for him to be getting involved or calling out Kovalev for that tactic, which was nothing dirty, nothing like he was hitting him with low blows or shoving his head, you know, pushing him down or hitting him behind the head. There was nothing like that, guys. You know, Kovalev, I just feel like he's a veteran ring technician, and he knows how to get around certain things and avoid and be able to fight through adversity and avoid certain situations that could prove detrimental for him. But hey, it is what it is, right? In the end of the day, that's how it went down. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on this. I don't know that I know that there's been some words out there, some that theory going around that, hey, was this fight fixed? Now, I don't want to dwell in that. I don't want to delve into that scenario. I don't want to, you know, you let me know, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the fight. Let me know in the comment section. And what's next for Canelo? What's next for Kovalev? And go ahead, and if you want to watch the replay on DAZN, then follow the link in the description. I'll also include it here on the featured image on this thumbnail, so you guys can go ahead and get DAZN, get it for a great price. I have to plug it here real quick that DAZN, in my opinion, is it's a great move. It's a really economical thing to do. Why? Because you're paying. Look, if you're not a big fight fan, if you just want to watch, you know, your Golovkins, or you want to watch your Canelos, your Anthony Joshua's, Andy Ruiz's, without having to commit to a full year, it's $20. That's just a fraction of what pay-per-views usually cost, which is nowadays about $80, right? So usually when you pay $80, you're really just looking forward to the main event. But with this one, you're getting not only that event at that particular time, but you're also getting whatever is going on that month, you know, any other events. You're getting classic fights, you're getting Bellator, MMA as well if you're an MMA fan, you're getting some baseball if you're a baseball fan, you're getting this library of fights and these great documentaries and things like that. Guys, it's a great deal. Even if you're just, you know, trying to check it out for a month, $20, a fraction of a pay-per-view price. And then if you're really a die-hard boxing fan, then I definitely do recommend that yearly plan, guys. Right now they have it at $99.99. It's $100, and again, you're getting all these benefits that I just mentioned, and you're getting them all for $100, which is just $20 more than what a usual pay-per-view costs, and you're getting this for 12 straight months. So check it out if you guys. You know, I wish they had a free trial, but they don't. But nonetheless, go ahead and check it out. I'll leave it on the description box for you to check out. I'm out, guys. You did not want to get too deep into this video. I didn't want to talk too much about it, but go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below. So God bless you, and have a great rest of your day.